What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Jacked Ramsays postgame show. I'm your host, Danny Moring, joined as always by Brandon Sprague. The Portland Trailblazers remain winless on the road, falling to 0-6, dropping a back-to-back 119-109, and it wasn't that close, but I'll just say it right out of the gate. God bless Norman Powell, ladies and gentlemen. God bless Norman Powell. Shout out Jackie, an additional shot to hit the over and not make this night a total bummer.
Hey, we were both tracking. Phoenix was covering that
spread. I was looking at it like, there might be a chance that they went ice cold for like 3 minutes. I'm like, nah. And then
Danny, when
they knocked those shots down.
Yeah, when they got to the 6-minute mark, I was like, wait, they need 36 points. Oh, I don't know if they can do that.
That's iffy. That's iffy.
And hey, I was hoping for Chris Paul to hit that last shot, and he missed. I'm like, they're not going to just dribble this out, right? And CJ went aggressively up, gave the ball to Norm. I said, Norm's got it. Norm's got it. Swat. Hit the over. Loved it.
All right. Let's go. Let's dive into it right away. Let's get to the rundown, ladies and gentlemen. What is your top to bottom? What is your takeaway from tonight's game?
Do we have different answers?
I'm just giving you the opportunity before I go on a rant. Like we are
go on a rant. Then I'd rather you go on a rant. So I can just repeat what I've said every other post game.
Yes. I mean, let's just go. Let's just go by it.
I'd rather you go on the rant. I'd rather you go on the rant.
I want to save it because I really want to build towards it. Like I don't want to just like all the way off the top. We got to let everybody kind of get in here because we're only 2.5 minutes in.
All right.
We gotta build.
I mean, it was a rough night for Ant. First of all, we were both wrong on that.
That sucked. I thought every shot he took looked good too. That was the irritating part. It was like he stepped into it, and I was like, yeah, that's the right shot, and it spun out 4 or 5 times.
And I think the unfortunate part about that is he's so important for them off the bench that when you have a night like Dame's, you don't want to waste it, right? Like me and you were texting, he was so limited what he could do, but he was the mid-range king tonight. Like that was his game. He knew it. He got to his spots. Nothing but net. If you're going to get that efficiency from Dame back, and they haven't had it often, you need Ant to go for like 15, 16 points off the bench, and just it wasn't his night. And that was a big part that sucked to me.
John Reed, we're definitely losing to Houston.
Have you watched Houston play? Like I did.
Yeah,
I didn't poo-poo that game coming into the trip.
They listen. They're a young team full of dudes who can like vacillate up and down 18 different ways. Like they can.
It's a good word.
Vacillate. I love that word. It's a good one, right? It has a lot of different uses. But yeah, like Houston's a young team, and young teams are always dangerous. If you don't come correct, they can just punch you in the mouth and just whoop your ass by 30. It's just.
Did you see Jalen Green dunk on Cade Cunningham and then bark at him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jalen's going to be a dog. Also, Cade is that guy.
I know. They're both amazing.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny. I heard some people like, this class is going to be good, but I don't know how good. I'm like, oh, you're crazy. This class is going to be generational.
The last 2 classes have kind of been that.
Yeah, it's been.
I think LaMelo is instantly one of the favorites.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one to kind of see how that class kind of pans out. Like I think a lot of people downplayed it, and it's ended up being a lot better than people think it is. But this class was loaded. Just absolutely loaded to the gills.
Yeah.
Speaking of not loaded to the gills, the Blazers did not come loaded for Bear. They shot 7 of 30. They came loaded for Pigeon. The bird shot was falling anywhere and everywhere. Every look that Ant got tonight, I thought was good. I thought Norm's looks were good. You look up and down the list. Norm was the only player for the Trailblazers to hit more than 1 3. He went 3 of 8.
Yeah.
Dame was 1 of 4. CJ was an abysmal 1 of 7. He was a tire fire up and down the floor.
Can we talk about that? I mean,
do we want to get right into CJ first?
Well,
let's go into it because he was abysmal.
He hasn't been good for them for most of the season, and he takes a lot away from what I think they can be. And, it's the obvious thing. It's clearly run its course. And we don't know what this team is, how they're viewing this, right? Because they're 5-7. If you told me they were 7-7 2 games later, like that's kind of who they're going to be this year. So I just thought it was kind of one of those nights. They had a chance. He just brought them down in a lot of instances.
Yeah, Sprague, you can't see it because you don't have the feedback. But instead of having the normal lower third, I've just got a dumpster fire GIF. overlaid onto the screen right now, just because it's just
that's appropriate.
Like this team is not Pelicans bad, but honestly, that's the problem. Is because they're in the middle. And they've been in the middle. They've been the middle. They've been the middle. And I'm so bleeping tired of them being in the bleepity-bleeping middle. Go down or go up. Get the hell out of this purgatory. I have said it for 4 years. The teams have not sat in this hell for this long. And it was like, oh, you're making the playoffs. Stop preaching to me about playoffs. Build towards something or tear down towards something. This whole, well, we're just happy to be here bullshit. I am so tired. I'm just tired of it. Yeah. Don't change the coach. That'll fix it. No. Like you and I were talking about this before we came on. Changing the coach, fine. Things have run its course. You can get some little tweaks here or there. Cool. I'm not against that. I think Chauncey's hit most of the right notes, but that's the problem. He's hit mostly the right notes, and it still looks the same. It's still a salad. You can change the salad dressing, but it's still a bleeping salad. Like it doesn't. Everything else is the same. Just because you change it from Caesar to ranch isn't gonna get you any further. It may get you a day more when you're eating the same thing every day. It's just. Joey says we're all adults here, Danny. You can say beep. I can, but then I have to tag this revenue-wise. So I try to stay away from a couple of them, okay? Yeah. I have them rated for not for children, but not all the way over the top. So.
I like, by the way, I've longly subscribed to your belief of what you're saying. I love that you have them in the middle, where I would like have them in that lower bottom tier.
They're in the lower middle. Yeah.
They're well, I don't know if they are.
Ooh, they're just in the bottom third, huh?
Do you how many teams would you put in the middle?
I mean, you got your 1 through 9 and your 10 through 19 and then your 20 through 30.
So who would you put in the bottom of like the bottom middle of the West?
I'd say Portland's probably like 19. So, yeah, I agree.
Okay.
They're 19-20.
Yeah. This is rough. It's 12 games in. I said this before we went on air. Like the Chauncey threshold stuff to me is different than addressing or seeing what the obvious problem is, and it's not. We're not pointing to coaching here, right? We're not sitting here for hours talking about Chauncey Billups. We talk about
we've hardly talked about him.
It's the roster,
yeah.
And I don't know how you watch this team and you don't see this obvious thing. You can watch and see it hanging over them. Like they can feel that move needing to be made, and we don't know what the status of that situation is going to be, how long this is going to go on, because I think if they stay with this team, I think you're going to get a lot of this. I think you're going to get 2-game win streaks, 2-game losing streaks, 3-game win streaks, 3-game losing streaks.
Oh, you mean like 500 team?
They are hovering at being a 500 team right now, based on what we've seen so far and watching them play together. I don't know what they need to change to make that feel so different than what it currently has been for 12 games.
Jeremy L is, I'm sorry, it wasn't Jeremy L, I think. Oh, no, it was Jeremy L. The Bulls right now. The Bulls made significant roster changes. And
yeah,
listen, and here's the thing in regards to the significant roster change stuff. If the Blazers make big changes, like they brought in Simmons or they brought in Brandon Ingram or they brought in one of those guys and they just fell on their face, so be it. Anybody can say, oh, I'm sure you'll say, no, I'll say good. You took your chances. You took your swings. I can go down like that. In anything in life, I can go down like that. Not knowing, never taking the opportunity, never stepping up and swinging at a pitch. I can't live like that. I hate that. It drives me absolutely insane.
I think a good example here, and it's a team that's far more accomplished, but I'm just trying to cite it as an example. Mm-hmm. Golden State's not had Clay for 2 years. Draymond's really stinking good. So, I mean, obviously it's hard to do.
It's hard to do apples to apples, yeah.
But still, like, to go on the fly of losing Clay for back-to-back seasons, and then they missed the playoffs last year, and then they come in and people are like, I think, 6 through 8, and maybe they'll finish there. But, man, they made the right tweaks They've picked up the right guys. Like GP2 has been a seriously great asset.
Otto
pickup
Porter,
for them.
Bielitsa, like they've just got good dudes.
They hit the right notes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They filled the right gaps. And when you have a Draymond and Steph, that transition from non-playoff team up to where they're at, it makes it a lot easier. The
With
point
Wiseman, Kuminga, Moody, like you've got.
Yes, you have other things. And the point is basically like, even that team that won, they didn't get content from winning the whole thing and being a dynasty. They said, oh, crap. Okay, let's get back out of this. And they made the right moves.
Yeah. And no, and that's the thing is that they're constantly, they've iterated. And that's the thing. It's like Draymond and Clay and Steph have applied that pressure, though. They like, I have heard behind the scenes that those guys, in order, Dre would be the first to go, Clay, then Steph. Steph wants to finish his career there. But Draymond and Clay have both said, listen, if you're not going to like actively chase and spend dumb money, we will force our way out.
Well, didn't Draymond say that publicly, though?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
we're here to win championships.
That's been understood now for years. That was the kind of the behind the scenes thing. Like when they started winning in 15, 16, 16, 17, like it was like, hey, you better keep spending. And the ownership group fought it a little bit, but now they've got a $150 million tax bill. But guess what happens when you win?
You sell tickets, you sell merch, like you make so much money.
You make dumb money. And that's why I laugh and I laugh and I hope it just haunts the Lakers. Penny pinching over Alex Caruso when...
Oh, my God. That story was awful.
Oh, I'm glad Caruso aired it out.
I was
Jeannie
too.
Buss and that family should be disgusted. They have a money printing machine. A money printing machine. A purple and gold money gun. And I don't want to spend $6 million more. Piss off.
They borderline own the NBA. They wouldn't spend any money.
Just despicable ownership.
I think it's bad when Portland doesn't spend money. I can't imagine being a Laker fan.
That's the thing is like when Paul Allen was live, you never had to worry about that.
Right.
With Jody, she's mine.
Yeah, but Paul kind of got that way after he spent in a luxury tax and they sucked. And then
always
they had to
spent
restart.
on a competitor.
Yes, but I think he was a little more hesitant after that situation.
Those tax penalties suck. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, they're not great. No,
but I am never going to make excuses, especially when you're Paul Allen or you're,
right.
One of the mega billionaires where this should just be a plaything to you, and even if you go into luxury tax, you still make a ton of money.
Yep.
So, but back to this game. Let's kind of go player by player here.
Okay.
First of all, welcome everybody in. I know everybody's coming in. Not a fun game, obviously. 0-2 on the road trip, and the Blazers now 0-6 on the road. But this is kind of what I think this team is going to be. I'm not pronouncing them dead and over. I have talked to people in the NBA who were very close to this team who have. But yeah, it's not looking great, Bob. So let's kind of go line by line. Obviously, the story of the night is going to continue to be Damian Lillard as we monitor back and forth. 12-23, 28, 7-7. His first real Damian Lillard box score line of the season. Not the Damian Lillard that we're used to, though, Brandon.
No, it was mid-range Dame tonight. And I think he recognized that he didn't have the ability to shoot from where he normally likes to shoot, that 30-foot range, that 28-foot range. And I loved it because he identified how he could impact the game. And he was absolutely lights out tonight, hitting all those shots. And that's what's unfortunate about this game is it's not that it's just another loss. It's another road loss. It's that you got a great game from Dame and just some of their key guys could not get it going. Yeah.
And I'm not going to like pile up on Ant here for having to shoulder that burden, but where I am going to shoulder a big pit.
Well, he wants the burden though. Like,
yeah,
let's
he does.
be fair. He wants.
But
that
as far
burden,
as far as like the pecking order goes, before I get to Ant, CJ being a ball stopping, just record scratching. I'm trying to think of things that I can say that are fair and also very mean. It's been awful. He had his first, like, was it 3 games of the season where it was like, oh, that's all-star CJ McCollum. Like, it's that experiment is done. It's a 6-year-long experiment. Dame CJ, I'm not pronouncing this team dead, but that experiment is cooked. It's done. It's over.
Oh, I don't think you can't have your cake and eat it too. If that experiment's done, then you're basically saying the season's done.
No, I don't think it is.
Well,
I think
but you're assuming they're going to trade him.
Yes.
That's an assumption right now.
I think it's a pretty strong one. I think it's pretty safe.
I mean, I would have said that after the Denver loss, but
we'll see. But 7-16, 1-7. He did have 7 assists, which I find very strange considering how much he pounded the ball tonight.
Yeah.
That end of quarter possession where Abdel Nader blocked him and then he chucked that shot up in the corner was physically painful.
How about the possession where he had 2 seconds and he chose to dribble and not shoot until after the buzzer?
Clearly because
God forbid your field goal range percentage goes down,
when you've got
1/10 of a point?
When you've got another 3-year deal coming up and you don't have to worry about it anyways.
I mean, yeah, you're going to get paid, bro. Like your field goal percentage dropping 1/4 of a percentage point is not going to impact anything.
Yeah.
You're down 10. Those are vital. That could be a vital possession. And you're one of the best shooters. I would pick you to want to shoot that shot.
Yes.
And you won't take it. You're killing me, Petey.
Speaking of killing me, 8 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists in 19 minutes for Jusuf Nurkic tonight.
Kaminsky, bro.
Way to rally off that game against the Clippers, Jusuf Nurkic.
Frank Kaminsky.
You got bodied by Frank the Tank.
At what point do you not come up the court and go all the way down to the block because you know the guy you're guarding is going to shoot the 3? When do you stop doing? He was only
2 of 5, but he did get caught in trailing situations a couple times where he went all the way to the rim and almost like his old drop coverage, which I've seen people like, well, that's just breaking old habits, and I'm like, dog, if the way the Suns were cooking them tonight.
We went old habits tonight, huh? We're still doing the old habits.
Thing, huh? The old habits of allowing 52%, 52, 40, 83 from the field.
Man. Old habits.
Yeah, honestly, the Blazers are lucky the Suns didn't kick the ever-living hell out of them because they shot 11 of 28 from 3, which is good. But the Suns also had you know what? The Suns and the Blazers both had a truckload of fouls, and somehow the free throw volume didn't get that high, 16 and 12, which I thought was a little bit weird. But Nurk was very bad tonight, and it's a bummer because the box score last night looked really good. But what did I say about that game? In the highest leverage situations, he was a problem, right?
You see, this is where we're going to disagree on this. I thought he was good for them last night.
Against the Clippers, when the Clippers opened it up because Nurk just.
I mean, yeah, I know what you're going to point to, but I'm just saying, like, for him for this year. But that's the thing. Was that not one of his better games?
Sure, it is. But again, we're not talking about we know what Jusuf Nurkic can be when he's being good. We're not judging Jusuf Nurkic like we are a young guy. Like, hey,
no, I
you're
know
building towards that. That's the expectation.
But I don't know if that Nurk is around anymore.
But that's my point. Is that it's if in the biggest situations he can't be out there because he's not making the right decisions on the short roll when they double and they trap and they press Dame.
Yeah, I mean, they were playing Larry tonight at the end.
That's exactly where I was going to go. Why do you think that was?
They went with the small 5 with the guards.
Because they're pushing up on the shooters and taking Dame off the 3-point line, putting him in the mid-range, and they allowed Larry to try and make some decisions. And I'll be honest, other than Larry whipping that one pass, I believe it was Nas. He threw it sideways, and Nas had elevated, lifted up a little bit high, and Larry's like, my bad, I thought you were going to stay wing, you went above. That's when you're talking about understanding like new relationships. That's what that looks like. Like those kind of turnovers, those ones like, it sucks, that hurts, it sucks, it's in that position. But those are the ones where you can point to and go, yes, that is the situation where new coach, new players, new personnel, that kind of stuff happens. But the general basketball understanding stuff, like Nurk catching on the short roll and not really knowing, Larry just kept it humming tonight, just over and over and over again. And I thought Nance was really good as far as keeping things going, but the Blazers on the flip side just couldn't hit shots. I thought the process offensively,
the three-point shooting was abysmal tonight.
I'll ask you this: do you think that the shots, the shots they got on the whole were decent?
Yeah,
on a regular NBA night on a back-to-back.
I thought it was just they were suffering from a byproduct of being ice cold on the second of a back-to-back.
Probably some tired legs, something along those lines.
Isn't that what we saw from Phoenix when they played?
Yeah. It's very reminiscent of that game. Yeah. But process-wise, that's why I wasn't really too frustrated with the offense. Defensively was what I was frustrated about. Defensively, they went to that zone, and that zone has
Oh
killed.
my God.
Okay, here's my anti-Chauncey thing. Pack
that's
that
gotta be a
ever-loving
criticism.
zone up and never bring it out again with this roster.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work for him.
It's there. I understand what Chauncey's trying to do. He's trying to coach an aggressive scheme with personnel that don't match. For everybody that hated Terry Stotts' drop coverage, I had 2 NBA folks reach out to me tonight and go, maybe they should go back to the drop coverage. Because it makes sense.
Hey, remember
for
the guy
personnel.
who was really bad at defense? Maybe they should go back to that guy's system.
It just makes sense for the personnel. It just does, like expecting Dame
Hold
and
on,
CJ
hold
to
on.
change their stripes.
You're telling me that their defense taking a step from like dead last to a top end, it's personnel driven? Because I was told it was simply X's and O's. And this guy,
And commitment.
this guy one time, did you know he played on the Detroit Pistons team who played great defense?
Accountability, baby.
This guy knows how to coach defense, and he'll hold everybody accountable. He will yell at Dame and CJ. He will make them better.
Here's the ugly thing. The accountability stuff is true. Everybody I've talked to has said that Terry got too light on the guys. But
I mean, he's there for 9 years.
but
Like,
that's on the
Chauncey going to be that way in 9 years?
exactly. I think anything for the most part is going to run its course.
You think Doc is still what he was from Boston to
God,
where he's
no.
at
I
now?
know he's not.
Okay, so
Again, that's the thing is, I am not. I'm more blaming Neil for number one for the personnel, but number two setting it up for he set Chauncey up for failure. They could have brought Spo in here. They could have. I mean, you know what I mean. Spo could have come in here, and they weren't going to get that much better. Without the roster changes, they just aren't going to get that much better, and it's frustrating. It's very, 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 very frustrating because the same issues are going to pop up, and Chauncey can throw Dame and CJ under the bus all he wants publicly. It's not going to change and turn those guys into plus defenders at the point of attack. It's just not.
I also don't think that's a good idea.
No, it's a terrible idea. I had somebody text me or DM me today say, "There's ways you can go about it." No, there's not in today's NBA.
You want to do it with CJ? Sure, if you know you're going to trade him, then whatever. But don't do that with Dame, please.
Dame's sitting out there telling people, "Hey, have you seen my defense? My defense kind of nice. My defense better." And I'm like, "Is it?
No,
It's not."
did you? I didn't see that tonight.
So, you know what? Let's have a little bit of fun here.
I thought Nas was good. Can we go to an optimistic thing?
Yeah,
I thought
that
Nas was
nice.
good. I thought Nas was good tonight.
I thought he put in some great shifts tonight.
Yeah.
Energy, hustle. He's just a pain in the ass for opponents right now on the offensive glass.
Right.
You make
Got a
him
little gnat in here, man.
yeah, little gnats.
Gosh.
You have to box out Nasir Little in the offensive glass. Hell, you have to box out Nas in general. He's becoming a very good rebounder. One of the things we haven't talked about much this season is that not just Nasir Little, but the Blazers have been a really good rebounding team this year.
They are attacking the glass collectively now, it feels like.
On both ends.
Yeah.
And
it's
that
not
is,
just me watching Nurk be by himself and everybody's standing around watching. It's
and
like,
Nurk has been very good on the glass this year.
Yeah.
Well,
he has to be. They don't have Cantor anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Zeller's a decent rebounder, but he's more of in the mold of like a Brook Lopez or a Robin Lopez, where he's more of a let me go ahead and box out one or two guys. Somebody else can grab this rebound, which is it's a good thing to have. But I threw this out there on Twitter. I don't want to step away from Nas because I want to have a little bit of fun. Somebody, Joe Vernon at Blonde Joe V said, "Is it too early for hypothetical trade talks to give us hope?" And my response is, God no. God no. It is absolutely after that kind of game, man. Let's have some fun. I said, screw it. Send me your favorite trade ideas, Portland. Let me know you're feeling, and we can all come together on Jack Ramsay's post-game show with Brandon Sprague and I following the game. Courtside Kevin Dew. He is very much. I wish I had my candles. I would light them up for Mr. Dew. He is manifesting Ben Simmons.
How does that not interest you right now?
I mean, it you know me, dude. This has interested me for 2 years.
I'm not talking to you. This is kind of a message to the people out there.
Because there's still people like, I don't want to deal with that. And I'm like, you want to deal with this and just gesture vaguely at this team?
This is not great. I went back and forth with somebody on Blazers Twitter this summer. They were like, Ben Simmons, CJ, I don't understand what we're doing here. And I'm like, do you like losing in the first round 4 or 5 years? Like, is this enjoyable right now? Are we excited to watch the Blazers play basketball?
I'll derail for a split second. This has not been a fun season.
It hasn't been.
It's
right?
been a bummer season, and that sucks.
Dame's been banged up. You got this investigation. There's clearly a trade that needs to be made.
There's guys that should be playing that aren't getting minutes because of that logjam.
Oh man, it's frustrating.
Like, and that's why I think I've even like hooked on to Nas and Ant even more. Like, that's where my joy comes from, is that bench unit, and then they struggle, or Ant struggles tonight. Nas has a nice little game, but it's like, this is a bummer. This is a bummer. And it's
see, I just keep taking the viewpoint of there's some pieces on this team that I like.
No,
and I just feel like if they made moves,
it's not a bad team. It's just not a great one. They could be such a better
team if they would make those moves.
It's frustrating. So Kevin Dew says, CJ for Ben, Nurkic for a backup 3-4, and whatever 7-footer we could roll out against bigger teams. Start Nance and Cove at the 4 and 5. I get a little bit dicey with that because I don't think those guys could handle the wear and tear of 82 at the 5 spot. That's you need a big body to eat up minutes at that spot, because especially with the way they're calling games in the NBA right now, you need a tough SOB to eat up minutes there. Ain't nobody gonna play 34 a night there this season and play all 82. I'd be willing to place a bet on that. It's just there's an ass kicking going on in the paint right now.
We got this one from Nathaniel. He says Nurkic and 2024 first round for Lou Dort, and then trade CJ for Simmons.
Listen, that sounds like a torture chamber from hell, but that is the shooting there is abysmal. I love guys being put in the torture chamber. It's a wonderful thing, but it's definitely a either or there. You cannot have both those guys on the floor at the same time. That's two of the worst.
How dare you?
League.
Lou Dort would come over here and know how to shoot the 3.
Terry's gone.
Well, the offense I was told was going to be improved.
Well, yeah, if you run the same stuff. Portland KC, I would bring in Ingram from the Pelicans at a rim runner for Nurk, any athletic center. I think that's going to be a sticking trend. If I proposed it to you, and it was the same offer for both, say CJ and 2 firsts, for Ingram or Ben, which one would you rather have? Because I feel like that's two very different.
God, it's such a different way to go.
Mm-hmm. You have all the dribble drive defense, like lineup functionality you could ever want with Ben, because he can literally. I gotta
be honest with you.
5. But BI's kind of nice.
The ceiling. I'm going Ben.
I am too.
I'll take the defense and hope that the offense gets figured out, because he's just genuinely happy.
Yeah, Ben can legitimately play 1 through 5,
and he's got another guard that he knows he won't have to mentally worry about that shot. It's basically going to be, how do I get this dude a good look, or I'm going to go to the corner and get the hell out of the way, or I'm going to crash the glass when he goes and shoots.
Yeah. Brendan Dunbar, how about we trade for Mo Bleeping Bamba? Shout out to Bleeping. Hey, Brandon.
Oh my God.
Who
texts me at 3:00 this afternoon? Bamba. Not even like, hey, how's your day? Just Bamba.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, dear Lord.
How long have I been texting you about Bamba for?
You've been annoying. That's all I'm going to say. You've been annoying.
For anybody wondering, Bamba was my guy coming out of the draft. He got COVID, obviously, was a year and a half ago, and he got a pretty nasty setback. He was also surrounded by the wrong people. I'll call it that way. And I think it kind of derailed his development on top of other things.
It was really, he was good, but he was really raw coming out of college.
He was. But I also saw that skill set at Hoop Summit, where I saw a guy block a dunk at the rim, chase down the rebound as it went out to the 3-point line, and block Gary Trent Jr. on a corner 3, all within the span of like 1.2 seconds. It was the most terrifying thing I'd ever seen.
I saw some great things sitting courtside when Texas played Duke at the PK Invitational. I was right under the hoop.
And you're sitting there going,
I was like, holy crap, this dude is long and athletic.
There aren't many, like, the number of guys that are as big as him that move like him, the list is like 4. It's him, it's Mobley, Jaren Jackson Jr., John Collins isn't as big, Clint Capella's a little heavier footed. It may just be those guys. Like they are big, they are long, and they move their feet, man. It is terrifying.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
No.
What do you think that percentage of the fan base is that like this is fine, give Chauncey more time? What is that percentage? That there's nothing wrong, it's just give this time. This is a new coach.
I want to say 25 at least. 25 to 33.
33%?
Because as much as we're in Twitter and social media, there's still very, very general Blazer fans who are like, oh, I'll give it a chance. Because here's the thing. As much as I've wanted to trade CJ for a long time, there has been resistance to that. But CJ, Denver, the series, the chase down block, like latched onto that like you wouldn't believe. And it's like, guys, as great as that was, that was it. That was the pinnacle. That was it.
33%. This is there's nothing wrong with this.
Mm-hmm. Wow. They'll figure it out. I mean, I get DMs, I get texts, I get, there's still a lot of people who are very much in that vein.
More power to them.
I've seen a lot of let's just blow this thing the hell up, and I'm like, I'm not going to go that far. You're not at like completely blow it up stage, right?
No, you have Damian Lillard. Let's calm down here. You got Dame, you got Ant, you got Nas, you got Norm. Everything else should be available. Yeah.
I see the one that you replied to was from at NBA Quanch boy Andy Quanch. The names that always get tied around. So Miles Turner, TJ Warren, Justin Holiday, the Pacers guys.
The Pacers
CJ
guys,
and Ben. Like, that's kind of the bones. I would imagine if, and I've talked to a lot of people around the NBA, and the one thing that seems to come up a ton is that one of the young guys, either Ant or Nas, plus the salary necessary, whether it's Cove or whatever, for Miles Turner.
Yeah.
And then you send Nurk somewhere else in another deal. Here's the thing. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. When you send out a big, you have to get a big in return, or you have to have another deal lined up where you get the big in return. The Blazers can't start Cody Zeller for the rest of the season.
No.
I love Cody, but he's not that dude.
Right.
He's a great backup. Great backup.
Yep.
But I think if you're like targeting things right now, you're looking at Mo, you're looking at Miles. I think those are the guys that you're looking at.
How cooked is Rolo?
He's a fine backup, but he's not a starter.
Are you going to get a starter with all these trades?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah,
a good one.
Passable. I think if you change your mind from like what you want and what you need, because if you add Ben Simmons, you have a no BS playmaker for the first time.
I mean, I get that, but like Orlando's not giving up Mo Bamba.
I think they might.
For use of Nurkic?
Maybe not Nurk, but a package of things.
Interesting.
They may not want to pay him.
Well, that's just a cheap ass move.
Well, it is Orlando.
Who owns that team again?
Amway. Or not Amway, the Vosses.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, man. What they can't pay that?
When was the last time they paid anybody?
That's a great question.
They don't pay anybody.
They
Jeremy asked in the chat, what would it take to get Cat? Dame. That's what it would take.
Yeah, Minnesota's not there.
They're not giving up Cat.
They're not there.
That's
like a year or two away if it's happening. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of it. And Andrew asks, "Do we look at Siakam for CJ?" Listen, if if the Raptors like, we'll give you Siakam for CJ, you stamp CJ's customs passport for him.
I don't know why Toronto would want to do that.
They got Van Vliet. They have a better defensive version of CJ.
Yeah.
So they already have an undersized guard. Somebody asks, who is a brighter future, Orlando or us?
Probably Orlando. I'm just kidding.
I
think it's still us.
It's a little dicey, but like the fact that you're not immediately diving into it, that's a little painful, right? It's like, oh God.
Well, that goes back to you saying they're right in the middle, and I'm just like, I don't know if they are in the middle, man. Near the bottom.
Blazers JJ, Yusuf Nurkic and a first for Christian Wood, CJ and a first for Brandon Ingram. We need to get Robert Covington to Rip City, but I can't find a good trade. Can't have him on the team by the deadline. I've seen a lot of anti-Covington propaganda. And listen, Cov has been hit or miss, but on the things that are like wrong with his team, he's like 7th before. Like, there's a lot of stuff I get to before I'm like, you know what? We got to get Bob Covington out of town. He's a perfectly fine player on an expiring contract. Like,
I think it's more about does he add a little more value for you in a trade?
Sure. But like, am I forcing him out of town?
No, I wouldn't force him. But if the deal is like, hey, give us Cove too, I wouldn't hesitate.
So, and this old standby: Harrison Barnes, Marvin Bagley, and Tristan Thompson for CJ and Nurk. I think you're buying a little high on Barnes and a little low on CJ and Nurk, but I have teased the CJ for Barnes and Bagley deal for 3 years. When did Barnes sign that deal? I think it was 3 years ago. 2 years ago at least. So, and boy, does that look
I'd love to
really
have Barnes.
good. Barnes looks really good right about now.
Yeah. See, to me, this is the other part of this. It's not so much talent going in versus talent going out. It's fit.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like CJ and Barnes, a lot of people would probably pick CJ, but like Barnes could fit really well with what Portland, with Ant, with Norm, like he could fit really well with that, and he's bigger.
Let's come back to the game, or like it, love it, leave it tonight.
I had a bad night.
Let's recap real quick. What was your love it?
My love it was, it was attacking the Phoenix Suns. All right. Well, you didn't need to add the buzzer.
So I'm testing some things out, right? Like this is what I've got the switch right here. Once we get
all right, what was your love it, you jackass?
Norman Powell. Ding.
Okay, ding. Ding, ding. You just stole mine from yesterday, you jerk.
No, I was right. I was riding that one. What was your like it?
My like it was Ant.
Yikes! What was mine? My like it was it Nance? It was Nance. Does that? What was his final stat line? He was 6 of 7. He did have a good game.
Efficient.
Yeah, 13, 5, and 3. The 3 turnovers hurt a little bit.
He got more play.
Yes,
that was the important thing.
Yeah, he got 27 minutes tonight. Cove got 23.
He went from 9 to 27. I mean, come on.
And Cove went down 15. I wonder what happened there. But so that's another ding for me.
And my leave it was Robert Covington playing poorly.
Did he play poorly? No.
Yeah, it's exactly. This is the point of the game, though. Where like, there's a lot of guys who are like,
yeah. I'm not. You get a. You tried, but it didn't fail horribly.
I mean, it kind of ends with a failure sound, though. Like,
it does. Brendan says Danny on point with them sound effects. Cool, stupid story. Not even really cool. Here's my own stupid story. I wanted to do sound effects and cartoon voices for like most of my childhood.
Fun fact: I always want, and I still want to be a cartoon voice.
Voiceover stuff, yeah.
Yep. Used to do it all the time as a kid.
Yep. I until my voice changed, which is terrifying.
Oh, dude, no, I know.
Wow, my voice used to be like I still. Here's something funny. I still sing. I grew up singing, and I used
Songbird of your generation.
Yeah, exactly.
You bust out something right now?
No, I'm definitely not gonna do it right now. My throat.
Come
is
on,
a
little
disaster.
Whitney Houston. Just a little Whitney Houston.
Danny wants to be the guy from Police Academy. Actually, I did want to be the guy from Police Academy.
That dude was dope.
Are you kidding me? It was fantastic. But where the hell was I going with this? I don't even remember. I actually don't remember where I was going to go.
Are you stoned?
Like, no, I'm not. I just derailed. I just derailed. So I can't remember why I started talking about singing other than the cartoon voices. Oh, no, my voice
you said
changed.
You grew up singing.
Yeah, no, I used to have an incredibly high voice. I went, hi, coach, to hey, coach, in the span of like 2 weeks. It was terrifying. Like, it was very bad. I grew from 5'2", like 110 pounds my freshman year of high school, to 5'10", 190 in like 2 months.
Well, when your voice changed, it means it wasn't the only thing that was.
There was a lot of
growing,
changing going on around that time.
A lot of change.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
Today in health class, you and your body.
I got very familiar with it, very, very close. Danny about to sing some Shakira. Shakira's not really my register, guys. I can hit some feminine tones, but we're talking more like some what's Paramore. I can do a little bit of Paramore. I can get up there. But yeah, no, we're not.
Do you know what voice I used to be really good at?
We got.
Like when I was pre-puberty, Urkel.
A little did I do that? Okay.
Oh, I could do a good Urkel.
A good CJ McCollum?
Better.
Yeah. That's
better.
That's tough. Let's see. It's in blue, so I can't really see your name. Chukwudi, I'm going to go ahead and go with. Given the bad vibes in the starting unit, could we be nearing an addition by subtraction situation? Could we be moving? Could moving him be an addition? I'm assuming we're going
CJ. Is that CJ?
CJ or switching up the starting lineup like Nance and
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
If you're gonna cross a bridge in that regard, it's gonna be Nance in for Covington because Covington's on the expiring deal, and that's a little bit easier to out the door if things didn't go well. If they went full Festus Ezeli. Jeremy says Creed and Journey. Listen, if I want to win a karaoke contest, I'm gonna hit some Bon Jovi. Okay, that's the go-to.
I mean, look, we make fun of Creed, and then we sing that one song.
Oh, listen,
you know.
So little behind the scenes, Joe obviously has a voice from hell. You'll hear him do voiceover. Simon's. Danny just sing on the pod when we finally win a road game. Maybe that's what I'll do. But I don't know how many times Joe, Shane, and I broke out some version of Pearl Jam just to be complete assholes to the producers and the mics. So it was. So we had our IT guy or our tech support guy, Jeremy. So we would end up singing Pearl Jam over and over and over and over again for 4 years.
Yeah.
A lot of even flow. Even flow. And it was stupid. So yeah, like I'm having fun just kind of like riffing on just stupid stuff right now because I really don't want to talk about how frustrating this team has been at the top end because on nights when you don't get the young guys doing stuff and you've got other guys stuck in the mud, man, it's frustrating. And it's just this is the way I explained it to another NBA guy tonight was this is a college relationship where everything is going really well. And you feel like you're going to get married and you're going to have kids and do all of the things. 6 years later, you just realize that you were just right for each other at that time. It's okay. It's okay. It happens. But you win a little too fast. You skip some steps because they had that 15-16 season after LaMarcus left. And they skipped all the steps. They skipped all of them. They locked everybody up. They drafted horribly. They gave CJ his deal a year earlier than they had to. They locked in more money. And it was like all of a sudden you're a 22-year-old, married couple with 2 kids locked in a mortgage. And you're like, well, shit, I guess we better figure it out. And now we're 3 years removed from that and everybody wants to kill each other. Yeah? It's a depressing family metaphor, but I think it's pretty apt.
It sounds like my childhood.
I got to be careful. My head is still spinning. I cannot throw my head back like that. Oh my God, that.
Are you all right?
Yeah, that was a bit much.
Oh man, I don't want to kill you on the podcast, man. Like I'd rather
listen. Get my freaking head clear.
I look. I think you're hitting the nail on the head, and that's why honestly, like to me, it's not even a personal thing. Again, I don't know the guy, but I'm kind of tired of pretending that he's been good.
Who? Which one?
The general manager.
Oh, when were we ever? Who was pretending?
There's a lot of that. No, stop. Come on. We know that exists.
It's true.
He's mediocre. Like
he has done well drafting in the second round.
For every and on the margins, CJ, he takes 4 steps back.
Listen, as bad as 2016 was, it was bad. The 2017 draft is what undid all of this.
I said that a month ago on my radio show. I said, we're going to look back, and it's going to be that draft, because had you drafted Bam
any of the OG, 6 other guys, of the 6 other guys,
Donovan,
Bam, Donovan, freaking either the Collins, OG, like it was just, you go down the list and you're like, Jared Allen, like there's like 6, 7 guys who you're like, just one dude, and you didn't have to trade up to get the picks.
When your 10th overall pick is gone in 4 years, it means you failed at that pick.
Okay, let's take a look at it real quick.
It's an absolute, it's a disaster. And that's just like, he's on San Antonio. Oh, thanks, Zach. Appreciate your bench support. Like we just glossed over it. And to me, that has been a huge thing. I've thought that for 2 years.
Yep.
And then he finally bounced, and I'm like, we lost the 10th overall pick in a draft
for nothing.
With all that potential talent on the board for nothing. And if you had if you're any of those guys, you'd be in such a different spot.
Joey asked, do you think Dame knows what needs to happen with trading CJ? Yes, unequivocally. Dame is not the one holding this back. He hasn't been for years. I've got that on about a good authority as you can get it. So, the quick bow on the Neil Olshey stuff is he has absolutely massacred the biggest decisions. LaMarcus Aldridge walking for nothing. The 2016 free agency when they finally had money, nothing. 2017 draft, 2 draft picks, you move up and you come that way with nothing. CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard's deals. Dame's you get. CJ's never got it. Never understood why the number went that high a year early.
Because he drafted him. He had to make it look like a great pick.
So the biggest level ones, he has failed. So, and that's you can only have so many of those before it really goes sideways. And somebody, Gabe says, CJ would be fine if he was on an $18 million a year contract. Yeah, because he'd be a hell of a lot easier to trade too. And here's the thing: if CJ was at 22 to 25 million, it'd be fine. But the fact that he's being paid as a step below the best guys in the league, that's when it becomes a problem, man. So it sucks.
Team,
yeah. No, go ahead.
No, it wasn't important.
No, go. Come
I was going to say the team just tweeted, trust the process, keep moving forward. It's just...
That's a blink twice if you're being held hostage message. And let's not forget, Damian Lillard started the season with a mic in his hand saying, just be patient with us, we're going to suck.
Oh, man.
I love the team account there. Trust the process. Are we trusting the process of the team, or are we trusting the process that a new GM is coming into play?
Yeah.
There's one process there I can definitely get behind right away. And this thing is I am very much I want to talk about fun, exciting, good things. I do. It's for anybody who's like, oh, you just want to be a downer. Brandon, you have been in media for a while as well. How much does it suck talking about crappy things for an endless period of time?
Oh, my brother, the last 3 years have been a wear on my mental health.
Yes.
Coming up next, a topic that you find very political, but it's in sports, and I have to talk about it.
Something divisive and negative and awful, and there you go. Have fun. And it's just... it's frustrating. Let's take a look at the upcoming game. The Blazers do get a day off. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I kind of want to see them burn through this road trip. They do have the Houston Rockets up next. Mm-hmm. And that's... I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing at this point in time.
We're the only 2 winless teams in the league on the road. So.
And Detroit just got their win.
There might be more Blazer fans at Houston, so this could be a toss-up of a road game.
God. So tonight in the game, Jalen Green finished 8 of 20, 23 points. Christian Wood was 7 of 14, 20 points. Tate was at 14 and 8. They've got some guys. Somehow Eric Gordon ends up playing 30 minutes. He's both 30 and 38 at the same time. I don't know.
They're a feisty team, man. They will fight. They're not going to roll over and let you just dominate that game. You're vulnerable to bad play. I think that's absolutely going to be a game. Why am I going to overlook that? Who is this team to have earned that kind of respect?
I mean, in the chat right now, it's absolutely a must win. Rockets by 10, and they're losing by the Rockets by 3. Not a lot of confidence right now. And here's the thing, I genuinely believe they could and should win a game against Houston, but I am firmly in the seat of the vibes suck too much.
One of my favorite teams to watch. They play so hard.
Let me tell you, I love it when ESPN's autoplay videos play over the background. It's my favorite thing. Go to hell, ESPN.
Is it ESPN thing playing right now on the show?
It did on mine. Yeah, you don't hear it on the feedback, but it probably couldn't hear it on the screen. But yeah, I swear to God, they sabotage those videos.
It's the Portland Stale Blazers, baby.
That's a great way to put it right now.
The Portland Stale Blazers.
We do have a day off. I will probably just bury myself in fun young things as far as the team is concerned. Like, let's look at Ant. Let's look at Nas. Let's go watch Greg Brown's 6 minutes of garbage time to start the season. Find something fun and just cool to talk about, because I think this is just going to be the vibes until changes come.
So 2 months of this?
I think there's going to be one change relatively quick.
I kind of want to do the Westbrook thing.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying you wanted to take a flyer on Westbrook, and I'm like, whoa! Pump the
he's
brakes,
cooking
bro.
right now.
Pump
He's
the
cooking
brakes.
Miami right now.
Of course he is. That dude makes absolutely no sense.
He doesn't make any sense.
But we'll get out of here on this, because we're just dragging on saying the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, I know.
Because I don't want to sit here. I don't want to break down tape of this game. I don't.
Well, I just think that's a lot of stuff that they keep repeating, and we're not seeing change.
We saw Chauncey in the post game the other night, where he was at game 10. And he had Terry face.
Yeah.
F this.
Yeah.
You serious? Really?
Yeah. How many open threes did we watch Jae Crowder hit, and you just look to the sidelines and Chauncey's like, dear God, they can't. They're running out on guys. They're not ready at all.
And it's just everybody keeps hammering. It's just mental. It's just mental. It's not just mental, guys. This is who players are. That's the NBA. And people, and it's not a defeatist mindset. It's just, I've been around this league long enough now to know how it works. There's very, 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 very few guys who, once you get past year 5, are changing a whole lot about their game.
It's the Dallas Mavericks won the championship example. It's one of 45 titles that you're like, hey, we could be them.
Huh? We could point to that one that happened in over 50 years, and the only reason that it happened is maybe the greatest playoff run ever from the greatest big man scorer ever, joined by 3 other Hall of Famers and another dude who's right on the fringe of Hall of Fame.
And admittedly, being a big LeBron guy, it's his one blemish is that series.
He did not show up.
No, he checked out after game 3.
So you had all of that, and then you also had maybe the second greatest player of all time who didn't show up.
Yeah.
That's
what it takes to be that example.
Yeah. So if you want to aim for that, if that's the needle you want to thread, that's like throwing a football from a golf cart falling off a cliff over a lake into one of those little floaty circles. It's just.
Can I make you happy?
Yeah, do it.
There's 23 seconds left. Miami just tied at 112. Laker ball. Who do you think shooting this? AD or Mr. Westbrook?
God, I hope it's Russ.
It's going to be Russ.
It's going to be Russ. I love that.
He's cooking right now. He's feeling too good.
All right, let's get out of here on that. So we'll be back on Wednesday. It's a super early game. We'll probably do the pregame at 3 or 3:30. So thank you all so very much. If you haven't already, please like, rate, review, subscribe. Follow the show here on YouTube. Take a second. Click on it. Help us get to 2,000 by Thanksgiving. Until Friday.